I really enjoyed this movie so much. It's the perfect movie for this time of what's going on in the world. I also happen to be the world's biggest klutz. So there's a particular scene in the movie that I identified with very much. I wondered if either of you have ever been in a situation in public where things have gone wrong. Um,
Oh gosh, in terms of, well, I remember in my early days of doing comedy and trying to I tried my hand at stand-up comedy for like a year or so, uh, which was not so successful. But uh, things that went wrong, not that the audience noticed, but I remember one of the first times I was doing it, I got so nervous that all the moisture left my mouth and my upper lip kept sticking to my top teeth, and I kept licking my mouth like a horse in between every joke. And I remember getting off stage, and my mother, who was in the audience, I was like, how did you think it went? She's like, oh, it was good, but you have a bad tick where you go like this all the time. So you need to maybe think about that. I was like, Mom, I lost all the moisture left my mouth. Okay. So relax. Yeah. So that's one horrifying moment for me.
for you, Rachel?
Oh, mine pales in comparison to that now. I thought it was bad, but no. I remember the first premiere I went to, I wore my dress backwards. And, it was just like, okay, well. And the tag kept scratching my neck, so I had this big rash as well.
I was wondering, Rachel, you mentioned that Will made you see a ghost. So how could you share that story and just what the relationship was between the two of you and how you stopped laughing?
Our relationship was good until that point.
Could you share it, what happened for the audience?
Well, we were shooting in Scotland, and we were just sort of standing outside waiting to start the scene, and we both sort of looked up, if I'm remembering this correctly, Will, I don't know, but we looked up into this apartment building, and this woman was watching us, but she looked like she had no arms, and she was standing very still, and she had these dark glasses on and very white skin and crazy hair, and she was just kind of staring at us, and she wasn't moving, and it looked like her eyes weren't even moving, and we were like, oh, that's kind of weird. We looked away, and we did the scene, and we came back, and we looked up, and she was still there in the same position, and right. She was there for like an hour, right?
Yes. And then I had my makeup artist, she went and bought a wig and the same glasses, and we staged her a couple days later at a location we were shooting at. And I was like, yeah, that lady looks a little weird over there. And she was standing in the same, holding herself in the same position.
At night on a dark pier.
Yes. But Rachel at first, I didn't think she noticed it. And she was, by the way, that was weird. But I'm so horrible at doing pranks that I had to confess immediately. Oh,
I think you were worried about my mental health.
Yes. I got really spooked.
And what about the two of you are both singers in this? Did you ever consider singing as a career? And when do you sing in real life?
I feel like we both have talked about that we kind of sing constantly around the house, or I'm usually imitating the songs that my sons are singing, and they're like, Dad, that's not how it goes. Stop. So I'm just annoying them. But no, I never had any aspirations of being a singer. We probably, let's face it, we all do in our mind, but not really.
Yeah.
Rachel?
No, I desperately wanted to be a Broadway star when I was younger, and I did a theater camp called Disney Musical Theater or something.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I was so bad. And there were all these kids. I was probably like 12, and then the rest of the kids were like 7 and 8.
Oh,
And they were like Annie, like they were ballerinas, and they tap danced, and they had their shoes and the whole thing, and they all sang, and they had coaches and stuff. And I remember the director came up to me after like day 3 when I was crying in the corner and said, you know, you might really like the Shakespeare group.
Well, how fortuitous was that? Thank you so much. I appreciate it.